talk about elapsed time. But first, let's remind ourselves of some things we know about the clock. We know that there's 60 minutes in 1 hour, which means it takes one time for the minute hand to go all the way around the clock to move the hour hand to the next large number. We know that there's 5 minutes in between each number for the minute hand, so we would say 5, 10, 15, and because it takes 5 minutes to get from one big number to the next, the clock doesn't just jump after 5 minutes, it goes slowly. So we have these 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'd get to the 5th little dot or number or section, and these are each little 1 minute dots. So this, if this is 2:15, this would be 2:16, 2:17, 2:18, 2:19, and then 2:20. So we also know that we have quarter past, because that's that 1/4, first quarter of the clock. We have half past, because it's half past the hour, or where we say o'clock, and it's gone through half of the clock. At 45 minutes, or when the minute hand is on the 9, we have quarter till, because that stands for quarter until the next hour, and you can notice that our hour hand is getting closer and closer to the 3, while it's still in the house of the 2. So we have quarter till is 45 minutes, and then that takes us up to the next hour. There's 60 minutes in an hour, but we would never say it's 2:60, we'd just say it's 3 o'clock. Now let's talk about elapsed time. Let's say that you started doing your math activity at 1:15. At 1:15. But then you worked for 20 minutes. If we work for 20 minutes after 1:15, we can move our clock to the starting time, just as I did, and then count by groups of 5 for 20 minutes. 5, 10, 15, 20, and then read the ending time. So if you started at 1:15 and you worked for 20 minutes, 5, 10, 15, 20, now we can read the clock at the ending time and know it would be 1:35. But you can also do that in a T-chart. If you don't have a clock, you can move. We can make a chart where we have our time, and then we have our minutes. If our starting time is 1:15, when we start, no time has passed. In this column, we're going to count the intervals of minutes that have passed. So it would go 0, 5, 10, 15, 20. And now I'm going to go and add 5 minutes to the time for each time I counted up by a group of 5 in my minutes. The hour is going to stay the same unless we get to 60 in our minutes, and then it rolls up to the next hour. So 1:15, 5 more minutes, it's 1:20. And then I'm going to jump for the next 5 more minutes. That's 1:25. Then it'd be 1:30, and then it would be 1:35. And by the time we get to where we ended in our groups of minutes, that's going to be the ending time. So we can see it in our T-chart, and we can see it by moving the hands on our clock. But now let's say that you did something longer. So let's say that we have our time, and then we're also going to work for our hours. If we started at 1:15, but you worked for 1 hour and 20 minutes, we would first start 1:15, and at that time, no hours have passed. And then let's see what it'll be in 1 hour. Remember, in 1 hour, the digit in the hours place is going to go up by 1. So in 1 hour, that'll be 2:15. After you add the hours, always add your hours first. Then you can go back and add the minutes. So if we were at 2:15 for our new column, we're going to add our minutes counting up by groups of 5 again. 2:15, 2:20, 2:25, 2:30, 2:35. So if it was 1:15 and we added on an hour and 20 minutes, we could start by adding the hours, and it'd take us from 1:15 to 2:15. And then we could add the minutes, still in our groups of 5, and we'd have our hour be 2, 1:15, 1:20, 1:25, 1:30, 2:35. So we know it would be 2:35 if an hour and 20 minutes passed. Let's look at that on the clock. If we have 1:15 and we're going to add, so we're going to say plus 1 hour and 20 minutes. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the full hour. And what's really neat is you can count an hour on the clock from any starting place. It doesn't have to just start from the 12. So at 1:15, when the clock moves all the way around, it's 60 minutes. It'll be 2:15. We've taken care of adding our 1 hour. Now let's count on by groups of 5 until we get to 20. 5, 10, 15, 20. Now we can see it's 2:35, just like we found in our T-chart. All right, you're going to watch this video, a video on brain pop, and then do the attached activity. Good luck.